Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Let me ask you just that last sentence that you indicated. Are you aware of, is the implementation far enough along of the Elizabeth Dole Act that you know of instances in where we need to be exercising our oversight authority to get something on the right track that seems to be on the wrong track?
Thank you. That's a great question. So there are some limitations to the veteran-directed care that come out through the Elizabeth Dole Act that we hear it's implemented all throughout the VA, but individual members and all that try and get on the program are not able to get on the program because it's not at their VA facility.
That's really important for us to know. The Elizabeth Dole Act, I think, is, again, one of the more and most significant pieces of legislation this committee has enacted. But implementation is hugely important, and we'll continue to work with you and PVA to make certain that that and other instances are brought to the VA's attention for correction. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you, Ms. Ward, caregivers, especially those for those with spinal cord injuries or disorders, as you indicated, face major physical, emotional, and financial strain. You talked about respite care programs, and they fall short. What reforms, changes would you suggest that need to be pursued to make certain that caregivers receive adequate support without compromising their own health and well-being?
Well, I think that's where I think about the coordination of care. Personally, I'm in the PCAFC program, and I access my caregiver support coordinator for respite care to come here today to get approval for that. And I only know that I have approval for that, that I could get approval for that because I worked with the Elizabeth Dole Foundation worked with me to get the nursing care that my husband needed. But I didn't know who to ask to get that done, and that's a problem. And I should know. We're 15 years into this disease. I should know, and believe me, I know a lot about the VA and the bureaucracy and the challenges. But there is a point at which I'm busy being a caregiver. I'm busy trying to keep this guy alive, and I can't do all that. So I need somebody at the VA who I can say, hey, I need this help. Do you understand what this program is? Can you get veteran-directed care? Can you get long-term care for us? What can we do? How can you help me do the job that I need to do?
You're actively engaged in the Elizabeth Dole Foundation. Tell me what services are offered that others ought to know about. Someone in the same position you've been in, where should they turn for help?
Well, if they're not in PCAFC, I don't have an answer for that. Okay. I don't know who they would go to. If you're in the veteran ALS lane, let's call it that, in the VA, there is an ALS coordinator at many of the VAs, and I think Mandi Bailey probably can speak to that a little bit better than me. I do not access the ALS coordinator because I actually knew more than our ALS coordinator at first, so I could do her job or I could still be Tom's caregiver. So,
well, let me ask Ms. Bailey that question. I think we recognize that the VA, let me put it this way, many veterans don't know what services they're entitled to, don't know what's available. Obviously, communication is important, but particularly for caregivers, and tell me how you think we can help provide the information necessary to get people to the resources that they need.
In my opinion, a lot of it's going to come down to funding and support. In our area, we are a very underserved, under-resourced area. So everything that we did pretty much felt like it was sent out to community care. The ALS coordinator position is a fairly new thing that has been brought about. I believe that came in with the VHA Directive 1101.07. It wasn't around when my stepdad was going through ALS. For us, it was calling our caseworker, and because of the understaffed nature of the VA where we live, sometimes it was hard to get a call back because she was busy herself taking care of the many, many, many other families and veterans that she had to contend with. So honestly, I think a lot of that's going to come down to funding and support. Our VA, last I heard, was 140% of capacity. They are wildly, wildly understaffed for what they're dealing with. They don't have the resources and time available while they are in those walls doing their job to be able to answer all those phone calls and get people connected with the resources that they need and do the research to find out where they need to be sent. So again, funding and support. Our VAs desperately need that funding and support to do their jobs the way that our veterans deserve.
With that, let me call on the ranking member.